So glad you're with us with another edition of the Coach's Corner. Make sure to come on down to the Tivoli Tap House and unwind, especially with those finals coming up. You could grab some great food, some great beer that's brewed right here at the Tap House. My name is Juan Arellano, and alongside me, Sarena Espinoza. Sarena, how are your finals looking for next week?
Finals are looking good. You know, they're finals, so there's not much you can say about it. Senior year, so ready to be done.
I know, I feel you. The classes are definitely stressing me out, but it's only one more week, right?
One more week.
All right, Sarena, so who do we have coming up on the show tonight?
So first up on the show, we have track and field head coach Janis Christopher. She'll join us to tell us how her team's getting ready for their new season. Then we'll take on head volleyball coach Jenny Glenn to be here to tell us how their NCAA tournament run went last weekend. And then sticking with volleyball, we'll bring on Santaisha Sturges to give us her thoughts on this past weekend in the NCAA tournament.
That's awesome. NCAA tournament time is always fun. But before we get to that, we're going to be recapping what went on in Roadrunner sports this past weekend. We'll start with our volleyball team and their run in the big dance. Coach Glenn's squad earned the 3 seed and took on 6-seeded Texas A&M Commerce in the first round. MSU Denver looked to make quick work of the Lions, rolling to the 25-11 first set lead. Stephanie Leroy had a good night, pounding out 8 kills. But Commerce would take the next 2 sets to put the Roadrunners behind the 8-ball. But Santaisha Sturges would take the team on her back and record a match-high 21 kills to help the Roadrunners capture the 3-2 win to advance to the regional semifinals.
Next up for Team 49 was 7-seeded West Texas A&M on Friday night, and it was the Lady Buffs who just defeated number 2-seeded Tarleton State the previous night. The first set was back and forth battled, and Sturges had 4 kills in the first set, but it was West Texas who edged out the first set 26-24. Our Roadrunners battled tough in the next 2 sets, but the Lady Buffs were just playing their best volleyball of the season and would take the match 3-0. It was another great season for Coach Glenn and her volleyball team.
Now for some basketball, as our men's team tipped off conference play on the road this past weekend. Head coach Michael Ball's team squeaked out a 3-point victory over South Dakota Mines on Friday. Cameron Williams notched his 4th 20-point game of the season and would make it 5 on Saturday after the Roadrunners defeated Black Hills State 62-56. Bunama Kato recorded 11 points and 12 rebounds to lead his team to their 3rd straight win.
Now for the women's, as they took their 4-game winning streak on the road to start RMAC play. They would make it 5 in a row after taking down the Hard Rockers by 12 points. Senior Georgia Ordorf scored a season high of 27 points, hitting 13 of her 17 field goal attempts. The win streak would come to an end the following night as the undefeated Yellow Jackets from Black Hills State took the 72-57 win over the Roadrunners. Junior Emily Hardigan led the team with 12 points.
So now we say hello to track and field coach Janis Christensen, or is it Christopher?
It's Christopher.
your assistant, Coach Matt, couldn't seem to get it right last week. But we're just messing with Coach Mack. He did a great job last week. And speaking on Coach Mack, what did you see from him in his first year as a cross-country head coach?
Trent is a phenomenal coach. He really is. And he was able to reach out to and get to know those athletes and really get them to buy in what he was, the direction he was moving the team. It was almost immediate. He has a great way of really reaching the student athlete, and super pleased with how everything turned out.
Awesome. So last week we got to talk to Coach Mack, and he talked to us about his duties on the track and field team working with the long distance runners. So you'll most likely be working with the sprinters, jumpers, and pretty much everyone else.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, so last year you took over as interim head coach after the departure of Nick Maas. So it'll be your first year as a head coach for the track and field team. So how did you prepare differently for this season compared to last season? Did you make any changes in order to fit your style of coaching?
Yeah, definitely. I think that, taking over and having the entire year to do what you want to do and to be able to express to the student athletes, this is the direction we want to move and this is how we're going to do it. These are my expectations. To have them understand my vision for where we want to go has been a big difference than last year, just sort of trying to stay afloat.
And has that transition affected the athletes that are returning, like the 3-year runners, 4-year runners? How has that been different for them?
It's been a really positive change. I think that you know, most of the sprinters and jumpers were used to the way I was doing things, but really to come in and have that expectation set for them, they have just really bought in. Like I said, the same thing with Coach Mack. They bought in, and they've just sort of done what I've asked them to do, and they're great leaders, and I couldn't ask more from my returners.
Isn't that nice when student athletes do what you ask them to do? So the men's team looked like it returns a lot of talent. So give us some of your thoughts and expectations for that group.
You know, we've got Robert Carlson back, obviously one of the top athletes from last year's season, and he has this year and one more actually, so he's technically a junior as far as the eligibility goes. I actually have a freshman, redshirt freshman coming in. Michael DK is his name. I expect really, really huge things from him, leading us not only in the Open 400, but also having him help out a lot in the 4x4 relay. So I would say those are the two that we're looking for.
Awesome. What about the women's team? Can you give us a few names that stand out to you?
Lots of freshmen, a lot of new freshmen. So I'm really just kind of excited to see what these girls are going to do. You know, I've got 3 that came on scholarship. Summer Drolman is a 400-meter hurdler. So indoors, you're gonna see her just on the relay mostly, and some open events. Outdoor, which is going to be where she really shines. And then I've got Michaela Renfro that came in she's from Nevada, and she's a 200, 400-meter runner that is really just getting into the training. She didn't have a whole lot of that in high school, so she's responding very well. I'm excited to see what she can do with all of the coaching that she's been getting. And then I have a jumper, and Brenna Vallejos, she's starting out kind of where Sarah Hughes started out when she was a freshman, when I started with her 4 years ago. So it's hard to start over a little bit, but I think that she's got the talent to do what we want her to do. So those are my 3. I'm really, as far as sprints and jumps go, and distance, of course, Erica Ruiz, nice to have her back.
Awesome.
All right, so your 2017 season is going to be starting this week at Colorado School of Mines Alumni Classic. So is this going to be like a rust buster for your squad, and how well do you think your squad's going to be doing this week?
It's definitely a little bit of a rust buster, definitely a test. Is interested to see how they've really responded to the training. Everything looks great at practice. I think they're working a lot better than I've seen in the past. Every day at practice, I'm like, you guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much, for listening and working hard. So interested to see how that's going to translate into a race, and who likes to race and who doesn't like to race, and how aggressive can we be. They had a meet last weekend, and I've got some ideas about what I'd like to see them do, and hopefully we'll be able to do that.
Very cool. So take us into the mind of a head coach and the team's very first meet of the year. Give us some of the things you're looking for, or maybe even telling your team early into the season.
So this meet really for us, I've told them I don't want them to take it too seriously. It's a little bit of a practice for us. It's a gauge of where we are and what we need to do over the 4-week period that they're on their winter break, and they really don't have contact with the coaching staff. They're sort of on their own out there. You're expecting them to do the work. So it's a good gauge for where we're at and where we want to be, and how much work do we need to do in the middle. And a lot of it is getting those freshmen ready, and explaining this is different than high school, and especially the jumpers. There's a lot of verbal cues that happen, and so I actually worked with them today. When I tell you this is what I mean. When I tell you this is what I mean. So they understand whenever they get out there, and it's not like I'm speaking a foreign language to them.
So during the winter break, are you guys still practicing and competing, or how is that different?
During the winter break, I write the workouts for them, and Trent does the same thing for our distance program. We give them 4 weeks worth of workouts, and it's up to them to go out and find a track and get the work done. And we try and make it flexible so that they can do stuff, on the road or in a park or wherever they are to get that work done. But they're really on their own. It's on their honor to get that work done.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for being on the show tonight, and best of luck in your first meet.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, and before we go to our first break, we're going to be bringing to you the tweet of the week, and it's going to be coming from the baseball team, who won the Roadrunner Challenge for the canned food drive. All the teams and administration competed on who would gather the most canned food, and it was the baseball team who tallied 857 cans. Definitely way more than the softball team, right, Sarena?
We were a close second.
So congratulations to the baseball squad and to the food bank in bringing in a ton of food from the challenge. We have volleyball head coach Jenny Glenn with us to talk about team number 49 up next on the Coach's Corner.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Enough. Yeah, I'm over it.
We shouldn't need commercials to tell you we're powerful.
No thanks.
Genders don't play sports. Athletes do.
Hola, I'm Jackie Lopez, senior libero from the women's volleyball team.
Joust at the net. Great job there by Lopez. Comes diving in.
And you're watching Coach's Corner. Get rowdy. I'm Basachi Fiatoa, senior middle blocker from Roadrunners volleyball team.
Excuse me, Gabby Varela. And hard hit there by Fiatoa, kind of coming out of nowhere.
And you're watching Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Welcome back, and before we talk postseason volleyball with Coach Jenny Glenn, we want you to have your holiday party right here at the Tivoli Tap House. The Tivoli is a perfect spot to host your party with great food, great beers, and it's so close to downtown Denver. If you act now, you can save 30% off your entire purchase of beverages and food. So visit TivoliBreweryCo.com to reserve the spot here at the Tivoli Tap House. So don't delay, the holiday season will be over before you know it. So now joining us is Coach Jenny Glenn. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. So your squad was back at the NCAA tournament this past weekend, but before we get into the NCAA tournament, we want to ask you about the shirts that you guys were wearing during practice. It said chop wood and carry water. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that meant?
Yeah, it's part of our mental training. It's actually a train to be clutch phrase, so I can't take credit for it. But it's basically us beating on our craft that, you know, day in and day out, you chop wood and carry water. And it's the menial things, the details that build up to put you in a position to be successful. So, yeah, it's just this idea of that every day we're going to come and we're going to work. And then, you know, hopefully it works out in the long run.
Yeah. Well, you guys definitely did put in work during the season, so
yes.
Good for you.
So your first opponent was Texas A&M Commerce, and you started that match on fire, rolling into the 25-11 first set win. Was your team just ready and amped to go? What worked well for you in that first set?
Yeah, I think it was a combination. We were really ready for that match. I could see it in us in the last couple of days of practice. We were excited to play. We were prepared to play. So we talked about attacking the match, and that we did that. I think on the flip side, you know, Texas A&M Commerce, they hadn't been in the tournament since 1988, so I think they were a little nervous, you know, so the combination of us just attacking and them coming out a little slow, I think created that lopsided score.
All right, so the Lions would respond in a big way by grabbing the next two sets to put your teams on their heels, but you guys never wavered, you guys never let down, you guys never showed panic, so it seems that you guys succeeded in 5-set matches throughout the season, especially taking the 3-2 win.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a moment of, oh goodness, like this could get out of our grasp, and we had to push back, which we've been working a lot on, and we wanted to see that, you know, in that match. We knew if we could get it to 5, we'd have a good shot because we've been very good and successful in 5-set matches. We didn't want it to go the distance, but I think this team had a lot of confidence when we went into 5.
Awesome. A big part of your comeback was Santaisha Sturges, who came on late in that match to help your team secure the victory. We're going to have her later on in the show, but tell us about Santaisha and how she continues to be one of the best offensive and defensive players in the nation.
Yeah, she does incredible things. You know, I think Santaisha is a very She's not a flashy player. She's just going to get it done. You look down at the end of the match, she's got 21 kills. But she just finds ways to score in situations where others don't, and that's what makes her a special player. Not only offensively, but defensively, has good instincts and is, digging a lot of balls, and her numbers at the national, regional, and overall level are just incredible. So she came through a lot for us this year and kind of was our cornerstone in a lot of ways.
All right, so the following night you would take on West Texas A&M on the Lady Buffs in the regional semifinal, and although the score, it was 3-0, it was a very close match. So talk to us about that match. What were your thoughts afterwards?
Yeah, it felt like a 5-set match. There was a lot of volleyball played in those 3 sets. Disappointing match, obviously, from the outcome perspective. I think we had opportunities to win that match. I did think we played hard. Wish we could have come through in a couple of situations. West Texas A&M was kind of the hot team, playing well, beating number 2 Tarleton the night before, and just playing with nothing to lose. And I think we kind of got on our heels a little bit and didn't respond in the best way, but I was proud of our effort. I thought that we played hard.
So you brought all 4 of your seniors into the press conference room. Talk to us about the reasoning for that, and tell us how much work they put in for not only Team 49, for the teams still yet to come.
Yeah, I brought all 4 because I think they all 4 brought something different to the table, and I think it's good for them to be recognized for that. I talked about it in the press conference, but Claire Gordon was a huge leader for us. Did so much for this team that nobody even knows, responsible for so much of our success and doesn't get the credit for it, and I talked about Vasati and just her energy coming back her 5th year and providing that spark for our team. And then, Alyssa Svalberg running our offense and Jackie Lopez running our defense. They all just provided different elements to leadership, and I thought they did a nice job of working well together this year and obviously leaving a legacy on our program.
All right, so you've had a few days to look back into the 2017 season. What was the big difference from this season to last season, your first year here at Metro State?
Yeah.
And what did you do differently to help you grow as a coach? What did you learn?
Good question. I'm not sure my brain can answer that question yet. I slept a lot in the last 2 days.
Eric Lansing was the one that wrote the question.
I'm sure he did.
It's all up
I
to
still
him.
think I'm in a postseason coma right now. Just 2 totally different years. We had a very veteran group last year, and basically everyone returning. We had 7 newbies this year out of 15. So. Just a completely different year. I think the strengths of this team were so different than last year's team. This team took a while to catch its stride. Once it did, I think you could see us ready to compete to get to the Elite 8, which was right in our grasp. So just really proud of this group for the growth throughout the course of the season. And, for me as a coach, I think every year brings new challenges and you learn. And each individual athlete teaches me different things and grows me as a coach and makes us find different ways. This group needed a lot of fun, so we were challenged to find ways to make things fun a lot. So, which also makes it fun for us. So just a really unique group of girls that were very unified throughout the course of the season.
You guys looked like you guys were having fun and bonding together throughout every match. So that definitely showed in every game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And off the court too. I saw you guys decorated the vans. That looked fun.
Oh yeah, you saw that, huh? We had all sorts of stuff going on throughout the course of the year. So yeah, we train hard and I push them pretty hard. So it's good to balance that out with some fun.
Always keeping it fresh. I like that. So now let's take a look into team number 50. Are you done recruiting for the 2018 season, and what will the team look like next season?
Never done recruiting. That's like a motto, right? Always recruiting. That's actually where my attention's focusing now. I think I want to take a week off and I'm like back to the recruiting trail. So, we have a couple committed kids already. We'll look to add a few more. But, this team returns a lot. Even though we lost 4 seniors, we return a big group. So it's a team that is going to have a little bit more experience under their belt. I'm really excited about, the growth of our young players in just these last few months. So I think it will be an exciting team to watch next year.
Awesome.
All right, Coach, it was a pleasure watching you and your team and team number 49 this season. So best of luck to you in the offseason.
Thank you.
All right, so stick around as we're going to be having the leading attacker for the volleyball team, Santaisha Sturges, right after this break.
'cause I ain't never gonna leave your side.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I pledge.
Here at MSU Denver.
To stop sexual harassment.
To identify situations
in which sexual assault may occur.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
It's on us.
All of us. To get a friend home safely.
It's on us to be a part of the solution.
And not part of the problem.
Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
I'm Janis Squires-Horton, senior guard for the women's basketball team.
Squires-Horton swishes the long two, and it's a 3-point lead.
When you're watching the Coach's Corner, get rowdy.
I'm Georgia Ordorf, senior forward for the women's basketball team.
And now it's Georgia Ordorf driving to the rim and gets another easy layup.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Juan Arellano and Sarena Espinoza back with the Coach's Corner. And before we get to know Santaisha Sturges, make sure to shop MSUdenver.com. Christmas is right around the corner, so why not get some Metro gear for that Roadrunner fan? It's chilly outside, so you could get them a sweater, a hoodie, some softball gear as well, a scarf like this one. It's that red and blue. So make sure to shop MSUdenver.com for that red and blue gear. So now Santaisha Sturges, how you doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Doing good, doing good.
Nice. So we wanted to kick this off. Talk about the emotion on the field or on the court. Sorry, I play softball. On the court, we see Basati. She's always dancing. She's always having a good time. Stephanie Laraway has her signature leg kick after she gets a kill. Alyssa Svalber is always falling around, tripping. But you're just so poised and have a quiet demeanor about yourself. Can you talk to us about that motion and why you play that way?
Honestly, I think I play that way just so I don't get overwhelmed. When I'm really hype and screaming and all of that, overly excited, I actually don't perform well. So I think it's, for me, I just need to stay composed. And I think that's part of my role on the team is staying composed because they're all so energetic. So just staying composed for myself to help the team stay composed as well.
Yeah, you're always in your zone, right?
Yes, yeah. I am.
All right, so your squad played in the NCAA tournament last weekend. Your first match was against Texas A&M Commerce. The Lions took the 2-1 lead, but your team never panicked and rallied all the way back to grab the win. Why does your team always seem to stay in control in the most dire moments?
I think because all of us just want it so bad. We want to win, we want to do well. So I think just having that desire and drive to do well is what keeps us going.
All right, so you took on West Texas A&M the following night in the regional semifinals. So although you guys lost 3-0, it was a very close match overall. So give us your thoughts on that match.
I think that match was a lot of nerves for us, honestly. We were super excited to play and knew that we wanted to win so we could play in the championship, but that didn't go our way. So I think during the game we were just focused on the team and what we could do as a team, so we didn't give up.
And what do you think made the difference in that match compared to Texas A&M to you guys?
I think it would be the nerves. Yeah, I think the nerves really got to us, and things didn't go our way. But I think we still played really well and hung with them.
So you stepped up in every way possible for Team 49 this season. You filled in the shoes of All-American Michaela Smith when her career was finished. You stepped up and earned the first team All-RMAC after another great season. You stepped up for the squad in the RMAC and NCAA tournament. All of those things, do those motivate you to be a better player? And do you love to carry all those things on your shoulders and lead your team to victories?
Yeah, I think pressure actually helps me perform. So getting those awards and the preseason stuff, I think I knew that I needed to be good so I could live up to that.
Yeah.
And I even told Michaela Smith, I was I'm gonna do what you did, Mac. That's gonna happen. So
I'm gonna be better than you, right?
I just tried to fill her shoes because she had such a big impact on our team last year. So I think I really just tried to step in there and do what she did for us last year.
All right, so talk to us about Coach Glenn and how she's been able to lead this team to success in her first 2 years as the head coach.
I think her coaching style is a lot like Debbie Hendricks, but she just always pushes us in practice. Even when we're winning, she'll still find different things for us to do, things we can get better at. So I think she's just a really good motivator for us, and really, like, her drills and stuff are making us better in practice.
Awesome. So if you visit roadrunnersathletics.com and go to your bio, it says you're majoring in business management. Is that still the case, and what do you hope to do with that after college?
I want to run my own business, but honestly I have no idea what I want to run yet.
That's what I was going to ask you, like what sort of business do you want to go into?
Yeah, I actually have no idea.
Maybe like food, clothes, just keeping it really broad right now?
Yeah, really broad.
Yeah, nice.
All right, so it also says on your profile that you have 2 siblings, Cassandra and Nate. Nate is a track and field athlete, and Cassandra is a volleyball player in high school. So we're gonna put you in the spot right here, and we're gonna ask you who the better athlete is out of the 3.
I'm definitely the better athlete for sure. We're all super competitive,
no
like,
hesitation.
on everything we do. So I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's fun to have competitive siblings, and helps me be better.
Are you faster than your brother?
No.
Are you better than your sister?
Yes.
Like, if you guys were at the same age level, who would be the best?
Me.
You would?
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take it back a little bit and talk to you about how you first picked up the game of volleyball. What was it about the sport that made you work so hard in practice and in the off-season to compete at such a high level?
Actually, when I started playing volleyball, I literally never touched a volleyball in a day of my life. I tried out for club because my best friend was playing club, and I was like, oh, she's doing it, I want to do it too. So that's when I was 13. So after that, I actually ended up like making a higher team than her. So I was like kind of awkward, like kind of weird. But
you guys still friends?
Yeah, we are. So that's good. Yeah. So then I just kept playing, and now I'm here.
Never stopped.
Yep.
Metro State, all region and everything. So finals are next week. Are you worried about any of the classes, any of your finals that you're going to be taking?
No, actually, business analytics, I'm not going to lie, is pretty hard. So we'll see how that one goes. But the rest of them, I think I'll do just fine.
All right, Santaisha, it was so much fun watching you and your squad play this season, and best of luck to you next year and in the off season.
Thank you.
All right, so before we get out of here, we're going to be bringing to you what's going to be coming up this weekend in Roadrunner Sports. As we talked about earlier in the show, Janis Christopher and her squad will hit the very short road to Golden to compete at the Colorado School of Mines Alumni Classic. The track and field squad will compete this Thursday and Friday, and we wish the team the best of luck as they open up their 2017-2018 season.
And now for the basketball teams. They'll be back home at the Auraria Event Center this weekend. The women will face off against the Rangers from Regis University on Friday night before welcoming in the Eagles from Chadron State on Saturday. Both games are set to tip off at 5 p.m. The men will also go toe-to-toe with the Rangers and the Eagles this weekend, with both matches tipping off at 7 p.m. Come out and support the Roadrunners as they look to continue their conference play back home in downtown Denver. Also wanted to remind you, it is a student athlete support night sponsored by SAC, and so come out and support and wear your red.
All right, that'll do it for this week's edition of the Coach's Corner. Don't forget that you could watch this show and follow up on all Metro State athletics at Metro State Sports on Twitter. So from Coach Janis Christopher, from Coach Jenny Glenn, Santaisha Sturges, Sarena Espinoza, I'm Juan Arellano, and we'll see you next time.
Metropolitan State University of Denver nurtures student aspiration and empowers lifelong success through personal attention and professional experience in an inclusive environment. Located in the heart of downtown Denver, the university offers broad access to a transformative undergraduate and graduate education on Colorado's most diverse college campus. And as a gateway to opportunity, MSU Denver advances the intellectual, social, cultural, and economic well-being of Denver and beyond.